One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I wish to welcome all of you at this memorial service, the celebration of life of Gabi. Very welcome. I would like to welcome you with words of Psalm 139. Here, U sien dwars deur my. U ken my, of ek sit en of ek opstaan. U weet dit, en U ken my gedagtes nog voordat hulle by my opkom. Waarheen sou ek dan gaan om U gees te ontvlug? Klim ek op na die hemel, is U daar. Gaan lê ek in die doderyk, is U ook daar. Vlieg ek na die ooste, of gaan woon ek in die verre weste, ook daar lei U hand my. U regte hand hou my vas. U het my gevorm, my aan mekaar geweef in die skoot van my moeder. Ek wil U loof, want U het my op 'n wonderbaarlike wyse geskep. U het my al gesien, toe ek nog ongebore was. Hoe wonderlik is U gedagtes vir my, o God. Deurgrond my, o God. Ondersoek my, sien tog na my onrus, en kyk of ek nie op die verkeerde pad is nie, en lei my op die beproefde pad. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Familie Böhmann, alle Angehörigen, alle Freunde, alle Kollegen, alle Bekannten, alle aus den unterschiedlichsten Gemeinden und Kirchen, herzlich willkommen. Wir wünschen euch als Familie in dieser Stunde viel Kraft. Wir wünschen euch, dass ihr durch die Anteilnahme der vielen Menschen und durch die Worte, die heute hier gesagt werden, getröstet werdet und ihr einen Schritt weiter in die Zukunft gehen könnt. I wish to welcome in our midst the worship, the Mayor of Scotland, Mrs. Nambis, our warm welcome to you, to all councillors present and all protocol observed. I have a few requests. When you leave the church, you will find there is a book where you can just sign your name, and if you wish, write a short sentence or message. It will also be later on at the Hotel Deutsches Haus, where there will be refreshments served for you. And then my second request is, we have music today in the church. We already had music. We don't need the music of the cell phones. Will you please do me the favor and make sure that your cell phone is really switched off? Alsjeblieft, maak toch seker dat die selfone afgeskakel is. Nou die dag het ons 'n dame gehad wat in die onderste gedeelte van haar sak die selfoon gehad het. Het 10 minute geneem tot sy die selfoon gevind het. Alsjeblieft, as ek so mag vra. Baie dankie. I want to thank all of the musicians present here today, and I now wish to ask you to sing the song with which the Vernon family has virtually grown up, a song which is their family song, and far beyond that. Bind us together, Lord. You will find it in your booklet, and I will play the first few chords, and I think many of you know it, and then I think this instrument is not necessary anymore. May God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit bless our service. Having listened to family speak about their mother, and looking back at her life, I think it is appropriate to listen to the words of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest in fields of green grass and leads me to quiet pools of fresh water. He gives me new strength. He guides me in the right paths as he has promised. Even if I go through the deepest darkness, I will not be afraid, Lord, for you are with me. Your shepherd's rod and staff protect me. You prepare a banquet for me, where all my enemies can see me. You welcome me as an honored guest and fill my cup to the brim. I know that your goodness and love will be with me all my life, and your house will be my home as long as I live. Let us fold our hands in prayer. Herrgott, himmlischer Vater, zusammen mit der ganzen Familie, in der Nähe und in der Ferne, danken wir dir für diese Familienmutter. Wir danken dir, weil du ihr Hirte gewesen bist, von Kindesbeinen an. Du hast sie geleitet und geführt. Du hast sie niemals allein gelassen. Wir danken dir für die Menschen, die für Gabi Wörmann zu einem Hirten geworden waren. Wir denken an die Familie, in der sie aufwuchs. Wir denken an die Menschen in ihrem jungen Leben. Wir denken an ihren Mann. Wir denken daran, dass sie selbst Hirtin sein durfte für ihre Kinder. Und sie durfte Enkelkinder groß werden sehen. So kommen wir zu dir, Gott, zuerst mit einem Wort des Dankes, dass wir sie haben durften. Lord, we want to thank you that you are our shepherd and you make us shepherds for one another. Thank you, Lord, for every opportunity where Gabi Wörmann has become a shepherd for other people, not only her family, but far beyond. We praise your holy name. Amen. I wish to call on the family now to say their obituaries. Bitte, Familie wird nun die Möglichkeit haben, Worte des Rückblicks und der Wertschätzung hier auszusprechen. Ich darf euch bitten, das hinabzumachen.
Lieber Ingo, liebe Lisa, lieber Jesko, dear Sarah, Kim, Heike, Caro, Rebecca, Abigail, Anna, dear Namibian community, we are here today to celebrate Gabi's life, not to mourn her that she has gone, but to celebrate life and ensure that we are all the best versions of ourselves. This is what she would have wanted. I want to tell you how Gabi grew up, her early childhood, and how this has shaped her and prepared her for life. Gabi was born in Stettin in 1940. As you all know, the Second World War started in 1939, so she was born into the midst of chaos, into that into the then German Prussia, which is now Poland. Her parents were ordinary people. Her mother was an orphan at early age when she was still below 18 years old. I think she was 12 actually. And her father was in the logistics business. Gabi's earliest memories was of the Flieger alarm, the air raids going off. They were living in a rented house on the outskirts of the city, and between the age of only 3 years to her early 5-year-old, my grandmother sent Gabi, the daughter, on her own to seek shelter in the bunker, which was in the middle of the forest. She wore a little name tag with the address details and some valuables in her pocket. And those were meant to be there for the person that would find her and help her should the mother not be able to make it to the bunker in time and help her little daughter. Can you imagine that a 3 to 4-year-old little girl had to run into the forest at all times, mainly at night, and be there on their own, sitting in the bunker with bombs and air raid alarms going off around you? We all know Gabi to be fearless and independent, and I guess this childhood experience formed her. In 1945, at the age of 5, Gabi and her mother fled from their then hometown to Berlin by foot and by train. You can imagine the angst and uncertainty. They obviously didn't take anything with them except some valuables again, which they could use to pay off people for necessary favors. They found shelter on the farm south of Berlin after trekking around for months, not just days, not just hours. My grandmother and Gabi worked on the farm from sunrise to sunset, and as payment, they received accommodation in the animal shelters. There was very little food. Famine was ripe, and Gabi often told us that they would survive off a soup, which was made only from the potato peel, not any potato. Anyone that has had the privilege to be dining with Gabi will know that she loves licking the bowls, scraping the metal off the bottom of any pots, and never wasting any food. After the war, the family was reunited and they moved to Hamburg, where she finished school. She always told us that she was bullied at school and that she often felt like she swam against the current, which she continued to do until the bitter end. This taught her resilience and to be true to oneself. After school, she did eine Bankenlehre, an apprentice working in a bank. She actually just told me 2 weeks ago that this is where she was the first female apprentice who was allowed to train new apprentices. Normally, this was only for the males. The males were only allowed to do that. Even back then, she was bold and took leadership where she could. This is also where she met my dad, Konrad, and in 1960, they got married in Germany and moved straight to Namibia. The beginning in Namibia was tough. She was an outsider, didn't speak English or Afrikaans, and had to adapt to local circumstances. She was so proud of Namibia, the great-heartedness and smiles of all Namibians, but she was also not afraid to voice her opinion and make it publicly known. Thank you. So, my name is Isa. I'm the second daughter. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm the older daughter after Ingrid. As you may all know, my sister and I live in Australia. We have come back regularly over the years to our Namibian home and love it dearly. This trip back home, unfortunately, we have to say our final farewell to our very beloved mother. We are humbled and touched by the outpourings of love and support from all of you. The entire Swakamunda and Namibian community. And we're very proud to be Namibians. We are so grateful and thankful to have had Gabi as a mother and a grandmother. And as the sort of support is coming from all over the world, a lot of people have actually said, we were so jealous, you had such a great mom, she was so cool. So that was actually really good to know. From a daughter's point of view, we admire her strength, her resilience, her commitment to her family, and her undying optimism. She encouraged us to stand up for ourselves, to swim against the stream at times, and to become strong and independent women. Gabi saw herself as a rebel who did not succumb to society's norms, but to stay true to her own values and beliefs. She was an incredible role model in supporting social justice amongst all people. Gabi was passionate about the environment and always picked up plastic and rubbish on the beach. If you have ever swum with her, you will know that she will say to the katitis, hey, come, you need to pick up this plastic. We need to keep our beaches beautiful and clean. She also advocated very strongly for the end of plastic shopping bags. She was frugal with herself, but generous with other people. She always tried to help those people less privileged and those that needed more emotional or material support. Her liberal upbringing and political and social involvement taught us to treat everyone equally. We remember her making us sit through endless United Nations meetings and women's rights movements in the late 80s and 90s. We loved her quirkiness. Most of the time, sometimes we would cringe a little bit. We loved her energy, although this was somewhat difficult sometimes because you could never really relax or just hang out because there was also always something to do. We loved her curiosity, her liveliness, as well as her involvement in everyone's lives, even though we were a lot of times very far away, my sister and I. She loved the arts, making sure that we knew about the classic masters, but also enthusiastically supporting the local art community. For example, she based her Ankerplatz renovations on the famous Austrian Hundertwasser. So when you go there again, one of her last projects was to paint the ocean there because the cobblestones were a bit hard for people who couldn't walk so well anymore. She actually wanted to be an interior designer, which is evident in her beautiful, warm, well-decorated house. She loved music, especially Kleinflute and the Gregorianische Gesänge, but also passionately supported local musicians and African beats, and she would have loved all you guys being here and singing and making beautiful music for her, so thank you very much. She enjoyed her flowers and made beautiful flower arrangements at home in front of a beautiful mirror. She was the glue that held us all together. She will be sorely missed by all of us, and I'm sure by all of you too. But we are here to celebrate her life, and we are happy that she is somewhere out there looking down on us and probably smiling. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. Thank you very much for coming, especially for the ones that drove all the way from Winter. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me and to the family, and I'm sure it will also make a lot to my mother. I'm covering the period where she was in Winter, nearly 30 years of her life, from the early 60s. I think she arrived somewhere in October 1960 in Winter, until the early 90s, 91, 92, when she then went to for contact. So I'll be covering that portion of the life, just highlighting maybe a few examples of what made her so special to us as a family and to us as a community. I think one of the first things she did when she started, she always worked at Donald Rock in those days, or most of the time, once she was actually fired by some of the shareholders, but that was only for a short time. She got, as my sister would put it, she was too energetic and wanted too many changes. But one of her favourite stories is she arrived there, coming from Germany, not having an abitur, having a weakness in mathematics, and there our dear Uncle Erich Laumann gave her a big ledger with lots of columns, and she had to add it all up by hand. And if she didn't get it right, then she'd work until 8 to 12 o'clock at night. So the first thing she organized is that we get a calculator. She made sure we moved along with the times. And it was one of many examples where she made us move along with the times. At the later stage, she decided she went for about 15 years every year to Germany to buy goods. Some of you will still remember or will have actually items in your house that she organized in Germany to be sold here, whether it was bedding from Irizet, whether it was beautiful porcelain from Rosenthal or any of the other big names there. If you go to any of the Swakopmunda second-hand shops, you'll find at least one or two pieces there that she made sure that were imported. So she always brought something new, some excitement into life. And I think that's one of the lessons she gave us. One of the lessons she gave us as kids, or especially me, that never fall asleep, always be active, do something, because if you don't do something, the competition will come past you. And I think that's one of the legacies that is partially due to her, that we're the only Namibian company left that are trying to keep the South Africans honest, that are trying to make sure that the Shoprites and the Pick and Pays of this world don't overcharge us too much. Growing up in Germany and not having the baggage that a lot of us had that grew up in Namibia, namely from the apartheid era, she was always open to everybody and always wanted to fight for the underdog. Remember, she was a 3-year-old that had to run on her own into the forest. So she knew what it is to be the underdog. There's instances where she was then fired at Remembrance and she started a dry cleaning business. And instead of just staying in the city centre, she went out to look for young entrepreneurs in the townships. In those days, you needed to get a permit as a white person to get into those townships. But she wasn't afraid. She organized the permits, she organized the young entrepreneurs, she made depots all over the place and helped people to grow themselves, to support themselves, to create an income for herself. Early in the she also in those days met Vitu Katsuba. I was under the impression that she would be coming today, but I can't see her right now. Oh. So there's Vitu. She was one of my mum's best friends, and Vitu brought her closer to the side that we were not allowed to understand in the apartheid area. Together with Vitu, they entertained regularly the various freedom movement leaders in those days in our house, whether it was people like Daniel Shongarero or people from the Swan Party, the Noodle Party, the two you can tell the people later on, all the other people that were there. But as a result of this, we as kids had problems at school. Because ons was mos die, I can't use the word, but ons was mos die boetie van die one of the outcomes of her being so involved politically, she never became a party member of any party because she believed as a trader, you cannot support only one party, you have to support everybody. But one of the outcomes of it was, and she was very proud until her last days, that she was invited, I believe it was the only female white representative that was invited from the founding father to Lusaka just before independence. And so she went to Lusaka to have the discussions with the then liberators of our country. And the other white men were all too scared to give the speech of farewell or the thank you speech, so they pushed her in front. And she stood her lady, as one could say, and she did it. She then got very involved with the United Nations. And she didn't become one of our new modern tenderpreneurs that drive a big fancy Mercedes and have high prices. I remember me coming from university and having to work until 12 o'clock, supervising and working together and packing these welcoming packs for all our returning refugees. One of the funny anecdotes was where she came home at lunchtime and said, "You won't believe it, but today I made an order for feminine pads because the United Nations felt it was very important for all the returning ladies to have those. And that order was more than the whole consumption for the whole year for Namibia." So she was involved with the United Nations, with Lusaka I mentioned. She had another very good friend, Ingrid Fleischmann, who unfortunately passed away from Austria, who brought in a lot of contacts, money from Europe to help her with her other passions. The Gyna school. Heidi is sitting and smiling there because she did that together with her husband. It was one of the schools that they built up in Tobagas called Bushman Kids. But it wasn't the only school. She was involved in 3-4 different schools where she collected money, where she went. I remember in the evenings we barely saw our parents because they went from one embassy party to the next, and everywhere with their open hand, let's collect some money for the development of our country. Lastly, the other thing that she was quite proud about is that she was selected, obviously at that time in Namibia, but she was selected as a representative of the Namibians to go to South Korea on a trade delegation. And all I want to say with all these little stories, she was always out there, she was always fighting for the underdog, and we love her for that, and we'll remember for that, and we'll learn from her, and hopefully we'll live in her spirit. And I hope that all the granddaughters, because at the moment there's only granddaughters here, the grandson will be coming tomorrow, and the others are in Australia. I hope that they all learn that lesson and will fight for the underdog, because that's, at the end of the day, what's the most important thing in our life, to make it a better place for all of us. Thank you very much.
Good day, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. I will keep it short. I've asked myself, where did my mother get the energy from? And that was available throughout her life. And I think for me, there's a relatively simple answer. She had very strong and specific values, and provided that she could fulfill the goals that she set for herself and implement them and pull them through, then she had the energy that she required and that we all know about. I would describe her as a doer. She was not a thinker, and she was also not an actor. But as we all know, we as humans need all of these aspects in order to be successful and to achieve something in our lives. So while the doing and the execution, the finalization of anything gave her the energy, she certainly had the qualities of the other elements that drive us in life as well. There was another element that was very specific to her, and that is, in my opinion, that lies of her generation. So true to her generation, she could not sit still. She felt that she cheated if she would not actively contribute purposefully to society, whether it was in the family or in a big community, the country in which she lived. She was an inquisitive mind. She didn't have an inquisitive mind. She was an inquisitive mind. She continuously wanted to know what is going on. Her spirit was formed by the revolutionary 1968 years from Germany. That was the time where the students decided we are not wearing suits and ties to university anymore. No, the era of jeans was established at that particular time. And that was the time when it was decided that you do not take no for an answer. But she did not leave it at that. She ensured that a flexible outlook towards life would always allow her to achieve the goals that she set. She knew well that you cannot please everybody. And she also did not have a problem to defend her position, irrespective of who she talked to. However, she always did so with the necessary respect. I just want to mention a few examples of her community involvement during the last, let's call it the last era. So in the early 90s, the parents moved over to Swakopmund, and that is where they then settled and also ended their lives. So her community, she was always very interested in theatre. Their particular genres would be drama, satire, but also philosophical reflections, as we've had from the one person from Remembrance, who was a guardian of the, what was it, plays that he gave. I can't remember the name. He was very fond of music. She supported the music over. She was very fond of jazz. We've got the jazz, a few other people over here. She enjoyed them a lot. But she was also very, very fond of the local music. And I was so happy about the presentation this morning and for this afternoon and for the presentations that we will have. So that was truly in her spirit. She would have just rejoiced to see all of this. She was very fond of any paintings that were done. She would support local artists, and she would even go so far as to request local artists to do some things for her specifically. He was very interested in educational presentations. Unfortunately, Swakopmund does not offer very much in this sense, but she found sources which provided the background information that she required for various activities. She was environmentally very aware. She started off the rejection of plastic bags in Windhoek already. That was certainly ahead of her time. Then later on in Swakopmund, there was a couple from Austria, I believe, we started the episode again. And again, I would have to say that it was the idea was not really implemented appropriately and correctly by government. We've got a levy, but we don't really know what is happening with respect to the levies. She was very much involved in municipal matters. One of the examples is the public open public parking lot between Pick and Pay and Remembrance. She was very involved in the municipal swimming pool, and she also had some other matters. She was a family support. She was the glue that held us together, not only directly in Swakopmund, but also with family members that we've got overseas. She regularly visited the old age home, and whenever you came and visited her or so, she would tell you about something that struck her or that she remembered and that she enjoyed very much about those visits. She did a lot of travels, in particular after my father had his stroke. She assisted and helped him by ensuring that they would visit overseas for half a year. And these travels went to such an extent, and it's part of an expression of her inquisitive mind, that together with two of her granddaughters, Pascal and Kim, and a broken leg, and her father, and her husband, who was using a wheelchair and crutches, they traveled to Spain to inquire or to experience a different culture and to see what's going on.
Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, bind us together, bind us together, bind us together, bind us together. There is only one God. There is only one King. There is only one God. There is one sin. Thank you very much. Now I want to give the next generation a chance to come.
Hello everybody. Today we reflect and
reminisce in celebration of the life of Timothy, who is to life in the life of our family. I was speaking English in the hope that this may be understood by most folk. A few exceptions people German without translators. Like Großmutti, die ich was about, she is another flaw, so you might have to bear with me. Today we're here to support each other and to get used to life without Großmutti. We're here to celebrate a life well lived. And to share what you meant to us. And to me, she will continue to be a source of encouragement, inspiration, and strength in times of trial. I know that without it. I would think of her doing cold banks into another body of water, especially the sea. When I eat something tasty with relish, she's been an example of how to love well and to be there for those that we love, through action and ultimately story. She's always been there, and now she's not. But what an example of life. Well lived she has been. Of countless insights and lessons, two are quite fitting to share today. Number one, verschiebe nicht auf morgen, was du heute kannst besorgen. Never put off until tomorrow, and love today. During my undergraduate days, I spent a couple of summers in Hamburg with my grandparents, always alongside an internship, as Großmutti would have no other way. She would tire me out with the unquenchable activity. During the weekends, she'd wake me early to cycle to the Stadtpark for an early morning swim before everyone else was there, so she could get changed by so-called swimmers at the leisure. Number two, ich schaff das schon, ich schaff das schon, ich schaff das ganz alleine. Ich komme schon, auch wieder auf die Beine. Ich brauche das nicht, ich brauche das nicht. Vielleicht eine Menge Kraft, doch ich habe immerhin schon genug.
Ganz was anderes geschafft.
I have got this entirely by myself. I'll make it onto my own two legs again. I may require quite a bit of strength for the task, but I've mastered more difficult things than this before. This chorus is from a song by Olaf Tarkovsky that Großmutti adapted for Großpapa's 70th birthday, and was in my memory, and has in my memory since taken on life of its own. We have sung and reminded each other of it time and time again, and to me it encapsulates how I see her and showing how she lived her life. It encourages me, and I hope that it can hearten us all today as we look back and say thank you for the many roles that God has played in our complete story. Thank you very much.
Today we gather to celebrate the life of a remarkable woman, our grandmother, who has left an undeniable mark on each of our lives. While my mother Moritz and I have had prepared this eulogy together, unfortunately he lives in Australia. Therefore, I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of both of us. Namibia was like a second home for us. We have countless fond memories of our time here. We recall with warmth and affection our visits to Swakopmund, where we lived upstairs in the lofty. As little kids, We would always refer to her as Aya, mainly because it was easy to pronounce and remember. It is also amusing to note that despite her name translating to eggs in German, eggs were not her favorite meal. One of the things we will miss most about our grandmother is a warm embrace. She had caring nature and shame without her. Großmutti, we know that the next time we go to Namibia, we will look up and see in heaven. We can imagine you sipping champagne, eating crayfish heads, and indulging in food that has long since gone off. We will miss our one-of-a-kind grandmother. We love you to the moon and back, Großmutti. Rest in peace, unser 15. Engel.
We are doing this in a modern way, okay? She's reading from her hand.
My name is Sarah. Some they call me Sarah Woman or Mrs. Woman. They know why they do that, but that is not for today. Please, those who are calling me Mrs. Burma or Sarah Burma, peace be with us all. I was Miss Burman selected a helper at home, a therapist, for me, she was more than that. She was a mother, a sister, and a good, given confidant. When my mother passed away 2 years ago, she was with me throughout, helping me. She loved with a true love. One day, I wanted to travel to the north, but she was worried about my travel. She told me that by any mistake or something happened with you and you did not make it, I will come and give you a pop crash. So, I'm here receiving my painful pop crash this way. Therefore, I have lost someone that was very dear to my head. I will always cherish the moment we shared until we meet again. My Mrs. Woolman, kind, humble, and generous, so rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to give two messages. The one will be in German, the mother tongue of the Berman family, and the second one will be in English, and I ask you to bear with me. Liebe Berman-Familie, ich habe den Spruch für euch ausgesucht. Der Mensch sieht, was vor Augen ist, aber der Herr sieht das Herz an. In English, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Liebe Wörmann-Familie, ich möchte euch die Gewissheit zusprechen. Da ist jemand, der euch ins Herz schaut. Da ist jemand, der auf euch Acht gibt. Ihr werdet sehr bald und sehr schnell wieder in eurem Alltag zurückkehren müssen. Ihr werdet nach Australien fliegen. Ihr werdet zurückgehen in eure Arbeit, vielleicht sehr bald. Und es werden euch vielleicht Leute begegnen, die gar nicht wissen, dass eure Mutter gestorben ist. Oder es werden euch Menschen begegnen, die euch auf die Schulter klopfen und sagen, das Leben geht weiter. Ich möchte euch wünschen, dass da Leute sind in eurer Umgebung, am Arbeitsplatz, in der Familie zu Hause, unter Freunden, die ein Ohr haben für euer Herz. Denn Abschied nehmen von einer Mutter ist ein gewaltiger, schmerzhafter Schritt. Und es dauert eine lange Zeit, bis der ärgste Schmerz vorüber ist. Wir Menschen haben die Angewohnheit, sehr schnell weiterzugehen mit dem, was uns beschäftigt. Und wir vergessen leider so schnell, dass da Herzen sind, denen es wehtut, denn sie nehmen Abschied von einer Mutter. Ich möchte euch die Zusage geben, wenn auch der nächste Sterbefall kommt und die Menschen mit ihren Gedanken schon längst wieder woanders sind und ihr das Gefühl habt, denkt jemand eigentlich noch an unsere Mutter? Weiß jemand, wie wir uns fühlen? Ich möchte euch sagen, der Mensch sieht, was vor Augen ist, aber Gott sieht euer Herz an. Er vergisst es nicht, dass ihr Trauer tragt. Ihr habt erzählt von eurer Mutter. Es war sehr beeindruckend. Aber ihr habt nicht erzählt, wie es in euch drinnen aussieht. Und das kann man manchmal auch nicht sagen. Da fehlen einem manchmal die Worte. Ich möchte euch sagen, da ist jemand, der auf euer Herz schaut. Und wenn ihr in der Nacht nicht schlafen könnt, aus Trauer oder euch in den Schlaf weint oder von der Mutter träumt, oder wenn es euch schwerfällt, durch den Tag zu gehen, weil ihr wisst, ihr könnt nicht mehr anrufen, ihr könnt nicht mehr ein Gespräch führen, ihr könnt sie nicht mehr besuchen. Da ist jemand, der auf euch Acht gibt, um euch zu trösten. Nicht nur heute, sondern für eine ganz lange Zeit. Dear congregation, I have a request which I would like to express towards you. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. My request to you is, please do not judge people from their outward appearance. And I'm not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about poverty. I'm talking about people who have lost somebody that they have dearly loved. If you see one of the Vernon family and you see this person laughing and being happy, remember, there is a heart which is crying. We see with our eyes what is before our eyes, but God looks at the heart. I say this because we, the community, are called to be loving and to remember that there are hearts which are hurting. And maybe you can do a small service. If you meet one of the family, just say, I remember you. Just say, I'm thinking of you. Or maybe you want to say, I am praying for you that you will be consoled. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. I think that as far as Gabi Vernon is concerned, I think the Lord did not look at the outward appearance. I am sure He looked at her heart. Thank God for that. Amen.